Hi, it's Margie. Getting bored. But let me tell you something. About mental illness or mental health struggles. And Murphy, it's not behavioral. We're not dolls. Behave well. Is that your point? Well, in that case, Mr. Murphy and you, Mr. Critter, should start behaving, you know, with the proper conduct, behaving your sanctions, whatever. Anyway, as a young girl, I was born to my mother who was seriously ill. I spent a lot of my childhood being catatonic, and I was cared for by my nana, who came every day from the Bronx to take care of Margie. As far back as I can remember, I was in a baby carriage, doing one of those tethers, a baby carriage, yeah. I was looking for my mom. My mom didn't respond. I was trying to climb out. I heard my nana going, Marguerite, Marguerite. I was encouraged because I heard her coming around the bend. And Nana did come and she'd take care of me, and God bless her. For so long, that woman came from the Bronx every day to take care of me because my mother was ill. My mother was so ill, those plastic headbands. She wanted my hair to stay in place. She put the plastic headband on so hard on a little child, I had a ridge in my skull. Need I go on? Uh, in her past, her grandmother died, and one sister committed suicide on the spot. The other sister became an elected me cadge for her all her life, and it's a long time, but she didn't say a word. Everything going on anyway. So, going on past my childhood, I went to the Girl Scouts. I really loved it, good Girl Scout. And one day I came home from high school. My girlfriend Joanna and her mother, Mrs. Chestnut, was the Girl Scout leader. Well, this particular day, Mrs. Chestnut had committed suicide. She had severed her own head with an electric carving knife, and the police said it was such a good job, she almost completely severed her own head. I was there. The people were ignorant. They lowered the younger sister into the window to see what was happening, and that child would never recover. She saw her mother with her head hanging. Ignorance is not bliss, it's horror. And her father told me, go home, go home, go home. I ran home all the way through the backyards of Cresco to my house because I was terrified. I didn't go to the funeral because I was flabbergasted. I couldn't imagine why such a lovely woman could do such harm to herself, to kill herself in such a violent manner. The doctor said maybe she was upset about her wedding anniversary. I don't think so. Cut your head off. Come on. Anyway, moving on. So I was coping with that. I spent ninth grade with my head on the desk because I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. It hurt so bad. And then when I turned 16, my father started being real nice and doing this and that. And as it turned out, he came down the hallway in my home. 16, I didn't know anything about sex. Never had sex. I kind of knew what was going to happen. Never did it. Never got close. Never had a boyfriend. My father stuck his tongue down my throat. Then my father harassed me for sex repeatedly. Come in the shower. Do his bath. It's okay. I'm your father. I said, Dad, I'm older than 3, and I probably wouldn't have got away with that when I was 3. Anyway, it turned into a horrible thing, and I went and I told my mother, tell somebody you trust. So my mother said I was insane and I was a liar. And at that point, my father found out that I spoke to my mother, and he spent the rest of his days trying to murder me. At one time, I had run away from him, run to my room, moved a heavy dresser in front of my door. He literally kicked the mirror in at the top of the door, leap out a window for safety, and run across town to a friend's house so I wouldn't be murdered. Now, I tried to make some peace with my dad after that. That was hard because the onus was on me looking bad. I couldn't cope with this. I went to a mental hospital. I didn't want to hurt anybody, but I was overwhelmed by these circumstances and afraid. Frankly, I was afraid. I spent a lot of time hanging out with my friend Tom Johann. He gave me sanctuary. Then my mother and his father, his mother and father, my father, decided to break us up. And He was threatened with losing his college education. My father, yeah, and so my guidance counselor had told my parents that I had a high IQ. Not bragging, just genetics. My parents wanted me to get married. I didn't want to get married. I wanted to go to college. My parents complained how much it cost for me to go to hostel. I did manage to go to Rutgers, Livingston 3 times on a full boat. I did have to work 3 jobs, to maintain myself as an adult. Car insurance, whatever. I worked as a bank teller. I worked in the office. I delivered daily notices, which wasn't good, and stuff like that. With the full boat. So moving on, I was lucky to be in labor relations where Wells Keddy was there, and he would always tell me I was remarkably profound. And I got the attention of Guido Corsetti, who was a graduate professor in sociology at Rutgers at Hose Lane Mental Health Center. And they hired me with no degree. And my job was to do research surveys. What you hate. We try to tell you what you should like and convince you of it by weird questions. I did it. Then I found animal, testing at that time, and I left. I had been a chef at the Hilton Hotel and many things, but I have been plagued. Once I left home, a boy immediately tried to murder me, smashed me in the face. I didn't even know enough to call the police. I walked to the hospital by myself. I was distressed. Things weren't going well, and the mental health center was giving me 100 milligrams of Valium, 120 milligrams of Thorazine, 120 milligrams of Sgrace, and more every day. In fact, I was so drugged, I don't remember meeting my husband. He brought me back 3 days later, so I met him, but anyway, didn't know. So drugged, I don't know how I walked. This kind of behavior from the medical professionals in mental health is reprehensible, and it was all designed to keep me shut up. That's sad, because I could have had a bright future. And then in 2018, on the X platform, Mr. Elon Musk has started censoring me from 2018 to 2025. Censored on Facebook. Now on Facebook, I have thousands of Catholic friends. I know the greatest support, and we pray together, but I'll never escape the stigma of what's happening. Even today, a lady asked me, do I know why I'm in the hospital? Oh no, I forgot, lady. Are you kidding me? You're always trying to pigeonhole me. St. Peter's took twice into carrier clinic, which is an inhuman hellhole. It's in Belmead. It has to be closed. They murder people. They torture people. They said to me, the nurse said, yeah, they take this, so we're going to give you the needle. I said, well, where is that, in Hippocratic? Oh, the way you treat people. Anyway, I got out. I had advance directed. Here I am. I have to defend myself. I have to prove myself. I can't just go on and be accepted for the good works that I have done, which I'm not going to brag about. Just saying, I am tired of being stigmatized when I haven't done anything wrong. I haven't done anything but suffer at the hands of these people. I told the lady psychiatrist that she shouldn't be wearing mules, too much calluses. Then I was labeled dangerous. Etc. So today, I'm 76. I've been without medication for 2.5 years, and everything's a bit better. My cooking is more refined and delicious. My thoughts have been very clear. I can follow politics, blah, blah, blah. And still harassed and considered to be insane. I'm sorry, it's just not so. And I cannot take it anymore. I met Robert Johnson, and I've asked for a patient advocate and a civil rights attorney to manage this kind of behavior. I mean, look at a lady psychiatrist calling me up. Do you know why you're there? I know, lady, I forgot. And do you know, lady, give me a break. I yelled at her, but coincidentally, I have a traumatic brain injury. The stigma of mental illness is so bad, I had gone with my husband to Princeton Medical Center. I had suffered a bad concussion and an injury. My arms were shredded, my bones were shredded. I had pulled myself up. The doctor that came to my house said my elbows had split. See? And anyway, so Dr. Daly said, I have to leave and I have to call 988. 988, a concussion and injury. Anyway, so she kicked me out and they wouldn't give me a glass of water, a little styrofoam thing to clean the dried lips off. Long story short, I wound up at Princeton and Rutgers Neurology, where they kindly told me I had a traumatic brain injury and nothing could be done. Need I go further? I will another time, but why do you want to hurt me? What did I do to anybody but be helpful, kind, and loving? And maybe I object to things. I'm only human. I don't take lightly to people hurting me. And the man smashed me in the face, and then I was a cutter for a little while because I didn't know what was going on, because my life was so bad. I made a mistake and the blood spurted up, so I took a warm, wet towel, I applied it, I raised my arm, I walked to the hospital, and I said, well, you didn't commit suicide because you saved yourself. And I made sure I would never think of that again. And to this day, 2025, which is like 50 years later, I have cops in Franklin banging on my windows, banging on my doors, saying I'm going to kill myself. It made it clear I am not now, not ever. And how do I get to be 76 when I'm trying to kill myself? It's ludicrous. It's complete harassment, debasement, and it's painful. I don't want it, and no one will stop. I don't want to go on because I'm too upset. God have mercy.